Hello everyone, this is the LEGO DC Superheroes Batman Brother Eye Takedown set. Let's go ahead and get right to the Brother Eye itself. First thing to note here is that this is standing up on its own. I have not added any cheater pieces. There are no clear parts from my own collection that have been placed into the scene here to keep it up, so it's good that it is able to be posed like this, although I personally would have liked to see just some kind of clear stand to get it up off the ground, but this is not bad. This was actually a pretty quick build to put together. It's fairly simple, although I like how it goes together. It does have a printed piece for the outline of the eye, and it has a built-in light. That is very cool. It's integrated in deep within the build, within the structure there, and has just a simple mechanism to turn it on and off. I like it. I like it a lot. It works well. It has a single stud shooter over here off to the edge just to have something that will actually be fired off, and the body of that is done in a medium metallic silver color. And then these arms out here are articulatable. You get one axis out here, kind of a, I don't know, like a wrist joint you might call that, or an elbow, and then you have kind of a shoulder joint, if you will, which is just a ball joint, so that can be turned all around in all kinds of different ways. These things I think can be rotated just slightly side to side if you want to make those appear a little bit more vertical, if that's kind of a look that you prefer. And then these bottom ones that are used as legs here with the claws on them have less articulation, but there's still enough to get this into poses that work, and you can also go side to side. I think that'll actually make it a little bit more stable and easier to get it into a standing pose if you have these a little bit more vertical. But yeah, it's just little options for what you can do. And around the back, you know, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look bad. You don't see any weird colors coming through, even when you look from the edges. So I think they did a pretty good job with the color choices for this. LEGO's been increasingly doing the right thing with color choices. Even these inverted tile pieces on the backs of these phalanges here look pretty appropriate. So yeah, I think this is done pretty well. I like the size of it. It's very convenient to hold. It just feels right. And then LEGO calls this not a bat wing, but the bat jet. Fair enough. They include in this set a copper colored version of the new bat accessories for 2018, and they've used a few of those here. Those actually don't work out so well, especially the ones on the wings. For this, just these fall off fairly easily. They're only attached with a single stud each, and they're kind of out there where they're just easy to get your hands on accidentally when you don't want to mess with them. So those can fall off, which can be a little bit annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. This has two stud shooters just on the front, and that's pretty much all you get for action features. The build for this is very simple also, deceptively simple, goes together very, very quickly, and yet it looks really good. And it looks fairly fresh and new, has a few interesting building techniques. I actually feel like more pieces in this than it needed, but they do help with the build. They help everything to go together with just easier success, especially for younger builders. So I do appreciate that. And has the cockpit that can be opened up, not too much gapping around the edges. Sorry, a little bit difficult to get my fingernail under there with just one hand, but yeah, you know, put a figure in there, leans back, and it includes two printed console pieces that were originally introduced with the Ninjago movie, but I think they work just fine here, even though they do have the Ninjago based symbols, the Ninjago alphabet used in there. I think they look good enough, and there's another of those copper colored bat accessory pieces. A couple of, I guess these are supposed to represent lights, or you could think of them as missile launcher pods if you want. Again, from the underside, doesn't look bad. Doesn't show any strange red and blue pieces and yellow. Well, I guess yellow would have worked out okay, but they're going with copper as the alternate color. The only thing that looks weird is that single blue Technic pin on the back, and it doesn't bug me because it's one thing, it's in the center. Pretty happy with this. It's very swishable too. Other than just these two things on the edges that can fall off, otherwise, you know, it's very easy to grab it, to fly it around, and feels like a good size and a good form. Here are the rest of the included bat accessories in that copper color. So they've now done these in copper, gold, and gunmetal gray. These can be used as shields. They have an anti-stud on the reverse side. They do stick up so that you can place this on a fully studded surface. These can be used as shields or blades, or like throwing bladed fan type things, and these can be used as batarangs. It can also be used for decoration. These two groups over here have no stud or anti-stud connections, just the bar connections. Here's a return to a light gray based Batman with all of the major body parts being molded in light gray. Simpler graphic style for the torso print than we've seen in a while, I believe, for Batman in Lego form, as the half cowl and stubble on the face. The set comes with actually 2 of the batarangs, and then this has the softer, newer style of cape. I actually think I like the torso print on the back better than the front. It's just nicely done. There's a little bit of gold in there for the belt, and as usual, you do get 2 faces for the Batman. So there's one with more of a grimace. Not the best quality here. It has a strange line going through the headband area there. It's a little bit awkward. And there's just the other face. Yeah, this face printing definitely needed a little bit more opacity. It's a little bit thin. This new Batwoman figure is pretty fantastic with the dual molded hair and cowl piece. Just 2 plastics that flow together very nicely. Again, a relatively simplified graphic style for the print on the torso, but I think it looks pretty good. Gave her another of the small bat accessories there. This one also has the softer style of cape piece. Look at that hair, how it just flows. Really looks like there's a little bit of movement in it, and it's so good that they did that as a dual molded piece rather than trying to paint some color on it. This just makes it very crisp, and the definition is very good. Taking that off, there's another face for her, so that actually is pretty good. I think it's done better than they do for the Batman figures with the use of the goggle/visor section on the face there. Print on the back of the torso pretty much just matches the quality of what's on the front and the style. And there's the other face, and just has the 2 different mouth expressions. Lastly, this figure is billed as OMAC, although I suppose it could be an OMAC, depending upon at what point you place this in the timeline. Again, I'm not a DC scholar, so I don't know exactly which this is supposed to be, or this is supposed to be the OMAC or an OMAC, but this is a really good looking figure. Great to get the Mohawk piece in blue there. Comes with a couple of power blasts in transparent red. Those look fantastic. I love the power blast pieces because they look good even if you just have a figure on display. They also play very well. They fire off. They fire fairly straight and consistently. They don't do any damage to the figure when you use them. This is a good figure just overall. Very well done. No print on the back of the head, but there shouldn't be any there. Yeah, this is just done as it should be. I think it stands out a lot, and it looks really good. Maybe if I personally was a DC fan and I was really up on all this stuff, I might have more criticism for this set, but as an outsider, I look at this and I think it's great. It has really, really high collectability value with the figures. Everything displays very well, and yet it's a really good toy. It's good stuff to just play with, to just have a good battle going on. The only thing that I don't like here is the fact that these 2 little bat emblems fall off easily. Big deal. Just leave them off if you're playing with the thing. The builds are, again, just shockingly simple for how good and how well finished the finished products appear. The inclusion of the light brick in there I think is really good. It's well integrated. Nothing looks unsightly from any angle. I just couldn't ask for much more for what they were trying to do in this set. So this one definitely gets a big thumbs up from me for everyone of every age. If you're interested in what you see here, I think that you will like what you get. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.